righty. We back at it.
Yes, sir.
Back to the show.
Another episode.
So today we are going to be discussing Renee Goods. This is a dividing topic among the country right now.
Yeah.
Between the left, the right, and whoever else is in that pot. We are going to give our response to it. First thing, we don't condone any killing of such matter in this way. But there is also consequences here that take place in this country and how our society live. I'm going to start off first, because clearly I'm the one that's talking, and then we each going to give our response, whether if they have a talking point, that we give each other time to give our opinion on this matter, because we're just outside looking in. So Renee Goods was sadly unalived by an ICE officer during an altercation of interfering with an ICE investigation. I'm going to talk to it from a standpoint, because there are pros and cons and there's good and bad. So I'm going to talk about this topic from a black person standpoint. If I get pulled over by a law enforcement officer, if I reach for my wallet in the wrong way, I might get shot. If I reach for my registration and my insurance, I might get shot. If my hands are not on the steering wheel visible to the law enforcement officer, I might get shot. If that officer feels uncomfortable, feels like I'm mad, agitated, and he's unsafe in the situation, I might get shot. I'm not sure what compelled this individual, Renee, to follow ICE agents into an investigation or a raid or a deportation matter. Who's the cause of this problem? The cause of this problem are the Democrats and the liberals. They're the one that allowed the migrants to flood into the country in mass numbers, therefore creating the situation we are now in with ICE agents. Also, there's a little bit of hypocritical talking points here from the left and the liberal from my standpoint, because you assholes are the same people that were celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. You are the same people that were, when Trump got assassinated, you were telling people he need to have better aim. I wish he didn't miss. And now you're giving an opinion on this matter. No, I am not condoning the death or the incident of this person passing away, but there has to be, are we going to call it double standard or some type of, we all saw the body cam footage. I'm glad we waited a little bit to get a little bit more information. I don't have all the information. You don't have all the information. I'm going off the information we have right now. Based upon the video, she was backing up. Her steering wheel was turned to the left, and they asked her to get out the car and stop. These are lawful orders by federal agents. These are not state agents. They are held by different standards, not the standard you typically have in your local state or whatever state you live in. And if you look at the footage, especially the body cam footage, she sped off, the wheel skirt on the ground, driving toward the officer. If some of you are aware and up to date on the current information, this ICE officer was dragged 30 feet in a previous ICE altercation. So his nerve and his senses are a little high at the moment. Now, I'm not claiming I have all the issues right now, but that's just my current take on it. There has to be an accountability on both sides. Who is funding these individuals to interfere in these ICE investigation or the ICE raid? Why are you there? Why are you following them? I'm not sure if anyone else saw the video of the body cam footage prior to the incident. They were being followed for a while by this individual. That's where I'm going to stop at on this issue. I'm not sure if you guys got any thoughts or comments on that or your take. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to give me your take.
Absolutely. I got a slightly different, take on the whole situation. I don't think that, for one, I think we do enough of the blame tossing as far as who's to blame for all of this stuff when, when you're referring to, the liberals and Democrats allowing all the, the immigrants to come in. And I'm like, I feel like this is, yeah, you can look at it as far as like, hey, if the liberals had never let, all these people in, then ICE wouldn't be out here doing this, and there would be no. But if you want to be realistic, certain people are going to find reasons to protest and interfere with things that they disagree with. So if it wasn't an ICE raid that they were interfering with, it could have been any number of things. It could have been a protest or something against Trump, or it could have been, any number of incidents that, that could have brought about a similar situation to this, because this is not the first time that we've seen somebody get, shot or injured by, law enforcement for put a blanket statement over disorderly conduct or interfering, or, what have you want to place it. But what I saw in this video, and from, looking into it, from what they were saying, they had just dropped off their kid from, at school or whatever, and they were, I'm assuming, headed back home. And they happened to come across this neighborhood where the ICE agents were getting ready to carry out a raid or something like that, some kind of planned thing. So like they've been doing, especially here in Chicago, when somebody realizes, hey, these are ICE vehicles, everybody started, like in Training Day, they started flipping the birds. Like when Lonzo and Hoyt came into the jungle, they, we started hearing people doing the whistle, and the birds, pigeons and stuff started flipping. That's what they've been doing. Like they letting people know, like, hey, ICE is in the neighborhood. If you ain't supposed to be here, you go hide or whatever. So I'm assuming, this is what it looked like. This is what happened here. So she took it upon herself to, pull over and let her wife out of the vehicle. And then she parked her car horizontally in the street, in an attempt to block ICE from continuing on, or, whatever. And this is where, this is just like the beginning of the end. Because, obviously, if she had continued on her way, all of this could have been avoided. So, what happened from there is extremely unfortunate. And I think a lot of the times when I'm looking through these comments and looking at the reactions of people, I feel like everybody is really missing the root of the question, like the real, true question. And to me personally, I feel like the real question is, should she have been killed for what she did? And unequivocally, my answer is no. Does she deserve to be, dead? And my answer is absolutely not. Now, where it starts to get sticky is when you go into the legality of justified shooting and reasonable force, and whether or not she was using the vehicle as a weapon, which, upon looking into what the courts have to take, what the courts tend to take into consideration when they, are deciding, that kind of thing, like, is a person using the vehicle as a weapon? It didn't seem like it to me, personally. It seemed like she, was intentionally, obstructing, what they were trying to do. And then when she was getting ready to be confronted with the consequences of possibly being detained or arrested, she was trying to flee. Now, when you look at the video, more, you see her slowly reversing to get distance between her and the cops that were in front of her. And then she turned the wheel away from the police officers. And she was looking out of her left window at the police officer that was yanking on her door. And then she began to, turn the wheel and try to drive away. And as she was doing this, the police officer who we got his cell phone footage of just recently, he stepped in front of the vehicle as the vehicle was moving back. And my only interpretation of that is he was putting himself in front of the vehicle because he's like, oh, if I'm standing here, obviously she's not gonna move the vehicle. So he's using his body as a way to stop the vehicle from going forward. I don't think that that's in any handbooks for any type of law enforcement to put yourself in front of a moving vehicle in an attempt to stop it from moving, personally. So that is where also more decisions, start leading down different paths. Now, whether or not she actually saw him and intentionally, and tried to run him over, I don't think she was trying to intentionally run him over. I personally feel like she was trying to flee the situation that she should not have been in the first place. But at that point, that's when he, decided to shoot. And personally, I'm like, hey, if you step in front of a vehicle and you got time to, realize that the vehicle was coming toward you with enough time to recognize that, reach for your weapon, unholster it, aim, and shoot, I feel like that's plenty enough time to step out of the way, which is also a part of those qualifications that the courts look at when they decide if a vehicle is being used as a deadly weapon. They take into account, did you have time to get out of the way when it comes to, using deadly force? Did you have time to get out of the way? They also take into account, did you place yourself in danger? They say you can't place yourself in danger and then use lethal force to resolve that danger. That's not how they look at things. When they looking at it, they say this is not this is not the way it's supposed to be done. So those are all things that have to be taken into account rather. But if we're going to be honest, with the current administration, I don't think he's going to be charged. Whether he should or should not be, if I was on a jury, personally, I would say, hey, why would you put yourself in front of the moving vehicle? So and then like I said, I still don't feel like I don't feel like it was enough there to be to justify shooting the lady. Now, like I said, that's up to courts and a jury. Matter of fact, whoever, maybe above that, attorney general or whoever. But with the administration that we have now, I don't think he's going to be charged.
Yeah, it just, we do want to reiterate, we are not justifying either side. We're giving our take based upon what we seen, the first thing we seen and everything. I am not saying that she should have been shot. I'm not saying that. We're not saying that. We just giving.
I'm definitely saying she should not have been shot.
Yeah, I'm sorry. She should not have been shot. Yes, we're not saying she should have been shot because we know how people get up in their feelings and they see us talking and having a conversation about it, and your feelings is driving you to the left or the right, and then you just assume the worst. Where we are not saying she should have been shot. We're talking from this. We are not saying that she should have been shot.
Honestly, I don't really care about all the disclaimers of
saying,
this is not what we saying.
It's going to be a disclaimer, but how some people try to.
I'm like, hey, look, we giving our opinion.
We giving our opinion, regardless of your feelings.
Yeah, this is no different than anybody else, and. Hell, we got the freedom of speech just like everybody else. I don't really care if it hurts somebody's feelings or if they offended by what my point of view is.
Definitely, and you get people to watch certain videos, podcasts, news channels, and they get cringy like, who is this guy? Why is he? We are. We have a right to our opinion. We have a conversation.
Regular dudes that bought some podcast equipment, just like everybody else.
Oh yeah. FactYoFeelings. Right. Don't forget what the show is called. So there is accountability here. There is both sides of the story. G,
what say you?
What say you, G?
I'm going to start mine with this first and foremost to Renee Good, and this comes from a lot of things before there's politics, before there's right and wrong. It comes from a parental side. Like, you're a parent. We all parents here at this table. and we know how important our kids are to us. And Wednesday, these kids lost their mom. And when I thought about it initially, if we go point for point and everything, it's like being the old head. It's funny now because listening to when all the old people used to tell us stuff, but it's come to a point now, this is where we are at. And from a perspective looking back, it's like we need to stop all of this. All of this right now needs to stop. These kids done lost their mother over what? And that's what drives me crazy. I don't care what her politics was, what her beliefs was, what she did on Sundays. I didn't care about any of that. It's like you are a parent, you have children, and now they are without. And it's like that part hurts. That hurts. And then comes everything else. And the crazy thing about it is like looking at the times now, it's like there used to be some type of standard that we held to. There used to be like some lines that we just did not cross because we understood that there were rules to them. And it's gotten to the point like nobody wants to obey any rule. They feel that they can do anything that they want to. And at the end of the day, what does it amount to? What did it amount to? This lady pulling in front of some cops and screaming out words, whatever it is that you feel on the inside. I get it. There's rage. Everybody is in rage right now. And there's no stopping it. And from my perspective, being a parent, I have to look at this now and I have to prepare my child for what's to come because it's not going to stop. It is going to continue from this point on. And again, at the end of the day, for what? We can sit and discuss all day what the right rules were, what the government rules were, but it's like, for what? What is this going to do? Down the long run, what is it going to do? So now more people are going to get shot? When the two more other people just got shot, they didn't get killed, but they just got shot. So it's going to be a contest now. And this is where and when I refer to the left, it's like the people that are protesting, is this really where you want to take it? I'm like, just be honest. It's like, do you really know who you fucking with right now? This is the United States. This is the United States of America. Do your history. These motherfuckers never done anything peacefully. It never came by peace. And right now you're thinking that by riding out in the street, pointing fingers, calling names, are you really ready for what's about to come next? That's what I'm pissed off about. Yeah. And like I said, it's going to continue because no matter what you say to people, they can have their opinions. There's no convincing them at all. There is no convincing them. You can show them everything you want to. Their brain is stuck, and that's okay. You know what? At the end of the day, that's okay. We have differences, and that's understandable. That's okay. We're all different. There's no two human beings alike. Mm-hmm. We don't recognize that. We take it out in anger. We take it out in fits, and this is what it leads to. And instead of everybody taking a break and saying, "Hey, you know what? Let's draw out the rule book. Let's not cross these lines and make an agreement." There will be no peace after this. And I'm saying that from, again, the old head perspective. There will be no peace after this. Trust me. Y'all already lit the fuse. Y'all lit the fuse with this. And now there would be no peace. There would be a constant battle from here forward about their version of good and their version of evil, your version of good and their version of evil. And you will never be balanced. But I can tell you this, at the end of the day, you push that button, you are going to lose. You're going up against the United States of America, all its might, military, and technology. And you're sitting here talking about you're going to throw some cans and point some fingers and call some names. And then when you get shot, you think that's going to make a change. It's going to make it worse. They're going to unleash all that might. You think it's some shit now? These people have shit that you can't even dream of right now. And I bet you they are more than happy to unleash it to show you exactly what a tyranny can be. And they are pushing that button. They have lit the fuse. This fuse has been lit.
I agree.
Yeah, I can't disagree.
It is,
I mean, the only thing I would, I don't think that, and it's very unfortunate, but I don't think that this incident is gonna be looked at as unique. Because, like I mentioned earlier, this ain't the first time. It's not gonna be the last time. And unfortunately, I think the only it's just, I think it's the coverage and the amount of attention that it's getting is it may be, a little bit, more hyper exposed than other incidents before, but it's not new. This has been happening since, ever since the raids and stuff have been, going on. People have been blocking and getting shot in the face with pepper balls. And we just, a few months ago, the lady got, what was it? Was it a beanbag or something she got shot with when she was trying to get
off the roof? Yeah.
Not off the roof. She was like across the street trying to go to an apartment building or something like that. And I forget the details of it, but like the stuff is not, I hate to say it, people aren't gonna be talking about this in a month.
Yeah, but my question is,
It's gonna be another thing.
It's going to be something else. It's probably going to be worse. Tension's going to rise even more. It's going to be a boiling point. But with these interfering in these investigations, like especially when I see the protests, like pallets of bricks are starting to show up at these designated locations to where they do these riots and all this other stuff. Like, who's paying for these bricks to show up there? Like, who's paying?
It's been happening.
Like who's paying for all your signs to get made? Like, somebody's doing it. Even in some places, when you go to the print shop, they did an investigation where they went to the print shop to where the signs were made, and they did not want to give out the information about who put in the order for the signs, because
I think it's deeper than that.
Yeah,
it goes
it's
back
deeper.
to what you were saying. Like, man, these are like when you out here feeling so strongly about these things, and it brings a conflict in me, not necessarily internally because I have no interest in being out there, but as an overall thing, I'm looking at it like, I agree with what you said, G. Like, hey, is this worth your life? Is this worth your children growing up without a parent because you feel strongly about this political thing that you are so, you feel so strongly about this that you're willing to put yourself in harm's way and into danger because you don't agree with, what's going on?
What would compel you to go out and protest?
Nothing.
What about you?
Nothing would compel me to go out and protest unless something was actively affecting my day-to-day existence and my day-to-day rights and ability to provide and protect my family. Outside of that, nothing.
Well, he just said.
I agree.
There's no injustice that could happen. And that's why I was saying where the internal conflict comes from, because I feel that way while at the same time I am completely aware that that is the way that governments can become tyrannous. Mm-hmm. When the citizens are unhappy with something and they just sit by and do nothing and they just allow it to happen because, the government is more powerful than we are as citizens. So what does that leave us to do? Do we just sit by and allow things to get worse and worse? Because we don't. Personally, at this table, we don't have any faith in voting in people who are going to affect the real change.
No, it ain't gonna happen.
We don't think it's a good idea to be out and obstructing these people from doing what the things that we may disagree with. We don't think that protesting has any real effective power to it. So what do? Do we just say, hey, the government got bigger guns than we do, so we just let them do whatever the fuck they want to do? What do we do? Because like I said, that's how from what I've seen so far throughout history, that's how people end up, taking over shit. And then that's how you end up with presidents who should have been out of office 6 terms ago. But now, they control everything. They control the military. They control the police. And if you oppose them, you end up in a jail somewhere underneath, somewhere. You end up assassinated. You end up kidnapped. Because of what? Because the person who was in charge had more military power and there was nothing that the citizens could do. So they just stood by and let the shit happen.
Dictatorship.
I mean, I try to walk that line and balance between, being realistic and also understanding, like, hey, I'm not finna I got kids to raise, man. I'm not gonna risk my neck and go out there and doing this stuff for things that don't have a direct, immediate effect on me. Now, I know people go and say, like, hey, this will have an effect. You think they're just gonna stop with the brown people? No, they're gonna come after the black people next. They only want white people immigrating to America.
I believe that. I believe they already have. I believe it been started with black people. As much stuff as we going through and what we try to fight for, shit like, do we need to be out there protesting more? No.
Yeah,
like honestly, like we are not out there protesting in mass numbers like how we used to do to get things passed, legislation passed, gun rights, laws. It's not the same. Like how, at least for black people, I'm not trying to steer the conversation away from a white person to a black person, but do you think we need to be out there protesting more?
What is it gonna do?
Absolutely not. Absolutely, them days are done.
What does it
and
do?
I'll tell you why they done. But back to Renee Good real quick. It's just that even with you line everything up and with the laws, the rules, everything, you cannot make up your mind to decide that what you're about to do is the right thing. And that's what I take conflict with when people talk. That's what I took conflict with, is the fact that you can't change the system like this. And people may think that, oh, yeah, we'll get together and band together and fight the government and overthrow the government. It's like, my question is how? My question to that is really how? I was like, I know people with military training and experience and how to, survive and stuff. But I'm guessing, like, really, if they were just to cut off the cell phone service and the electricity and just let people go for it, how are you planning on fighting? How many people keep like an arsenal in their home and is prepared to get out there and do whatever? How many people are willing after that third day of hunger kicks in? You that serious? How many of you are willing to go and rob your neighbor? Because that's what it will come to.
Civil war.
And it's like, then what? Over what? For what? At the end of the day, for what? It's crazy. You sitting here fighting against the law. There is no other country that you can set foot on this planet without showing some type of documentation of where you're from and who you are. You cannot allow people to come across those borders that have rules and just let them set up shop. And now we're finding out, oh, we're giving them money. That is wrong. You can cry about it all you want, but it is a law. It is a law that has existed since we had borders. And you can't sit up here all of a sudden and decide, I don't want to follow that law. That's stupid. And for everybody that's out here against that, that's the stupid part. That's what really cooks me. That's what cooks me about this lady who lost her life because she decided that she was bigger than the law, is that somehow you're protesting about people that you don't even know. 95% of the people I know can't even name their next door neighbor. And you're fighting for somebody that came from a different country that probably don't like you. And you're out there, for what blows me is that you're sitting there in front of a cop, honking the horns, and I'm sorry, but she was talking shit. And like you said earlier, I was like, as far as a black person is concerned, that's a recipe for getting shot. That's on the top 10 list of getting your ass shot. You would never fucking dream of pulling in front of a cop when he was about to do a drug bust. That's suicidal.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
And I was like, I don't care where you from or what you think about it and all this other shit. Okay, when y'all sit up there and talking about, oh, black people injustice, when niggas was acting a fool and they got shot up, okay, same thing. So now you can't call it racism because they just shot up a white woman. Is that about break even then? Keep doing dumb shit. You know what? I was like, I know that we talk. It's like we prep. We're preppers. So it's like we're prepped. So it's like for everybody else out there that think this shit is about to be gravy. Good luck. Keep doing it. You think it's hard now? Watch me. I was sitting. We doing the math. We sitting there watching the shit that happened from the 70s up until now. This new generation is just on some wild ass shit. And that's what the old school used to tell us when we was coming up. Like, y'all on some wild ass shit, and this the turn it's gonna take. We knew about teen pregnancies before that shit popped off. We knew about the drug epidemic before that shit popped off because we had old schoolers that already done this shit. And they looking at this generation like, y'all niggas fucking up. And now I'm that generation, and I'm looking at this generation like, y'all niggas fucking up. For real. And like I said, y'all done lit the fuse to it. So, hey, just as a warning to everybody, this is where it's about to go. Yeah, okay, she got killed. They're going to continue to sit there and harass ICE until something bad enough happens. When Tim Walz is in Minnesota telling you that he's about to release his National Guard, that is dumb as fuck. Because he is only a governor of a state. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. His supersedes Tim Walz's jurisdiction and his access to the National Guard. That's dumb shit. And if they keep acting a damn fool, then guess what? They're going to send those National Guards out there anyway, because now it's too much of a deadly situation. And if you persist from there, now we're going to send the Marines in. And now we're going to have those little fucking drone dogs marching around with fucking AK-47s attached to their back. And you think they don't have those?
Yeah, they do.
I was like, y'all sitting here playing a game and thinking that, oh, we got the white and we got the right. And you got the wrong. And this shit is about to end badly. So for anybody out there that thinks that, you fighting for a cause, it's like, go do your research wisely before you get out in the street. And you think that you somebody getting drug out and smacked up and shit for what? What are you fighting for? Name me the person that you fighting for that came across the border. What's his name? What do he look like? What's his favorite color? You know nothing. You know nothing about the people that came over here that don't fucking like you. And what pisses me off at the whole thing is in that aspect of it, it's like nobody in their right mind does that. There hasn't been a country that prospered from allowing illegals and immigration into their borders. They're having problems in the UK now because of that shit. Canada, same thing. This shit ain't nothing new. Why would you do that? You got to think of it from a game perspective. Why would somebody do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's never made sense to me. But like I said, I still have that conflict of not like I don't. It's like I don't agree. It's just like when people say, hey, I don't agree with what you're saying, but I agree with your right to say that. I don't agree with them protesting, and I don't agree with their reasoning behind the protesting, but I can't reconcile that, or that doesn't supersede the fact that this fucking country is a big ass science experiment based on a protest. Like the whole country is a big ass protest. It's a big middle finger to the British royal family. Like, hey, look, fuck y'all. We don't agree with what y'all got going on, so we gonna do our own shit. Just so happened it's been somewhat working out for the
hey.
up to this point. But hey, we didn't make it to be the biggest superpower in the world. But
do you think in a way, do you think we're kind of living in a simulation? I ain't trying to go that far up, but like it seems like we are just following a trend, going from one thing to the next to the next. Like what's the next thing is on the list? I'm not trying to say we are living in a simulation. We
that's another conversation
a big giant dome, but
that's another conversation that we can definitely have as far as simulation shit. But
it's because you read some of these. I'm not sure if you guys dabbed in the area of some of these QAnon posts. Is where they try to, they say a couple of things years ago and they're coming to fruition. And hey, I read that a couple of years ago, or even down to the Simpsons theory. I know you heard of the Simpsons theory.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I think what you're getting at is like from what to answer your question, from what I think you're trying to get at is
we're not inside a dome. We're not inside a dome.
Regardless, but I'm like, even if what I think it is, the people that's in control are not the people we think is in control.
Right.
I agree.
And it's shit going on beyond our knowledge. And yeah, you got people with the tinfoil hats that's saying, X, Y, and Z is running shit and this is the plan they got. And, I'm of the belief that, hey, somebody got a plan that they set in motion. And there's people with a lot of money in their pocket, with a lot of oil in their backyard. And those are the ones that's actually doing, the shit that the ones that's guiding the country, the world, the way that they want it to go. Mm-hmm. And all of this other shit is distractions. All of this other shit is just, something to keep people occupied and it's something to keep them focused on keep them unfocused on the bigger issue.
Yeah, it's like the stuff with immigration and the thing that's going on in this country, the United States. You can't do that shit in another country. You cannot just go across their borders and get a whole bunch of funding, get 0% interest rate on a house, and get 30% loan mortgage.
And again,
not 30%, a $30,000 loan. It's like you cannot do that shit in any other country. Only here that shit is taking place, and some people are definitely tired of it. Definitely tired of getting looked over. Like, why we gotta wait? We here first. We're paying taxes. We're doing all these other things here first. Take care of us first. Like you, regardless of who you are, a governor, a mayor, especially our mayor here. Like take care of your own citizen first. Like it does not look good. You're not gonna get reelected. You're gonna get pushed out. Tim Walsh, that fraud situation caused him to drop out. And that's a perfect example.
Yeah. And for the record with that one, as far as those people that, you have them, they point fingers saying that Republicans, all they do is steal money and blah this and blah, blah. So since Doge came out and since this investigation in Minnesota, they said it's in Ohio, they said it's in California, they're going to look at it here in Illinois, and I think Maine is already being looked at. So now you're finding out that, which made sense to me, taking a step back and looking at it. I was like, I think like one of my favorite characters is Joker. Joker is maniacal. He does slick shit. And when you're able to pull off some slick shit, I don't get mad about it. I find it kind of like, oh, that was clever as hell. So you get all these people into the country basically to get a kickback from it. You put up all these fundings and you put together all these NGOs and just cipher money to it to get a kickback. That's what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. And that's why so many politicians now are going in debt and coming out fucking filthy rich. It's like, it's a gig. I get it. I was like, if I was smart enough, I would be a politician. I guarantee you. But I'd be honest. I'd tell motherfuckers left and right, I'm ripping them off. I like, because it wouldn't be a video that I wouldn't be in laughing on how stupid certain people can be. And that's what it boils down to. So my saying that is like, okay, you see now that both sides are crooked. And now you're basically saying when you identify with one of them, just what flavored bullshit that you like, which is fine with me. If you say, hey, I like the flavored bullshit, okay, that's great. You have your reasons for believing that. Same thing with Democrats. I like this flavor. I get it. That's cool. And it goes no further than that. I was like, if the politics ain't the subject, but let's talk about something else. You know, there's other things, but I'm not about to sit here and base every interaction I have with people, because I have a lot of them. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Half the time I forget who, I'm talking to. It's just that I'm engaged with the person. So I can't speak to all this other crazy shit when people say they can't get along, or they can't, or when people look at them and they being racist. It's like, well, maybe it's just you. Maybe it's you that's having this problem thinking that all this shit is going on. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's I do want to say, like, I don't blame the immigrants. I don't blame the Somalians in Minnesota. I don't blame them at all in any way, shape, or form. I blame the people that signed the paperwork that let them get all that money, that let them walk across the border freely. Because you can't blame them. They are the one playing the game. Right. I mean, shit, hell, if I could go across the border, cut my hair off, pale my skin a little bit, walk across the border, get some free money, get a free daycare money, get billions of dollars in loans and stuff, and all you gotta do, the politicians, this camera on me, all you gotta do is sign the paper, and I get all the money freely, because you can't take it from me. You gotta go out to the people that signed that shit in the law, that allowed me to get it. It's the same way with Section 8 and food stamp and all these voucher programs and everything else. Give it to me. Yeah. I don't gotta sign nothing? Okay, cool. That's it. I'm gonna take it. Then you guys gonna fight amongst each other. All your politicians, the news media, gonna make you look bad. They're gonna make you look bad, this bad, this bad. All these cameras, up, down, left, right, start, select. You gotta use the cheat code. You like how I did that? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, I'm like, I can't be mad at them specifically from a from human to human standpoint. It's like, hey, it's shit going down in their country, and they unhappy with it, so they like, hey, can I get a better life over there? Now, at the end of the day, it's like, man, it's like you. I guess on the spot, I'm guessing if you want to liken it to something, imagine going on a safari, with no, just going on a safari with no guide, and then getting mad that you get a guide to take you to the edge of the wilderness, and then they drop you off and be like, all right, see us, good luck.
You better be Crocodile Dundee
right,
out there,
and you go through there. Hey, you can make it to the, it's some oil or something in the jungle that hadn't been tapped into, or it's a gold vein or something in there. Go ahead and go try to get it, but don't get mad when that motherfucking that puma jump out, or that leopard or something jump out, and they bite you in the ass.
Hey, G, even worse if a motherfucking honey badger come at your head. Those motherfuckers are buck wild.
Yeah, I seen one fighting an elephant.
Yeah, them things give you a run for your money no matter who.
But I'm like, so hey, if you go on this journey, you understand that there are risks and there are dangers, and it may not play out the way that you wanted it to play out. So when you get caught,
right,
it's like, hey, okay, cool, game's up. Send me back. Let me try again. Start back from go. Let me try again if I can. Like, so it's like,
and you're right, 100%. They get to come right back in, and they can do it, and they can get taken out by ICE, and then come right back in the legal way, and have no repercussion.
I think once you get caught,
you have something on your record, but I guess once the first strike or second strike or something like that.
No, I think once you get caught over here illegally, you can't come back.
No, no, that's not true.
That's not true either.
No,
What is it?
I thought it was like a first strike, second strike thing.
I have no,
because some of them do it.
No, I mean, if you get caught over here illegally, then you can't come back legally. Like, you can't file.
Right. Okay, so by law, you can't. No.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, if you get sent back over there, ain't nothing stopping you from finding another coyote to get you over here.
Well, apparently they don't do paperwork too good.
But I thought it was if you're getting deported due to a overstayed visa, you do get to come back. But if you're staying here beyond the past. Because I guess it's a certain time frame.
That's like a strike thing. Yeah,
right. But as far as it's taken under consideration.
Yeah, because as far as you just came over here and you got caught and you wasn't supposed to be over here, that's different.
Oh, well, that's different. Right. Yes.
That's it's a misdemeanor, and felony. And that's the other crazy shit too, is that we're going back to this simulation. I mean, this all plays together. It's that this control that they have over people in order to make them do the things that they do. And when I say they, I'm like what you said earlier in terms of the people that really run it.
The shadowy figures with the puppet strings.
Yeah, I was that would simply be the banks. I was like, the U.S. dollar goes through the Fed. The Fed ain't got shit to do with the United States. The Fed is a group of banks, and those people pretty much control what the dollar does and how it operates. And the United States and all the other countries are based off of their GDP. That makes them a business. The reason why the United States can get so much and do so much is no different than having a credit card. That's what the U.S. debt is. It's like it's a big-ass fucking credit card. And that shit is about to cash out as well. But it's like that's what we are. So if a country can control its consumers, it doesn't care who the fuck does what, who gets shot on the street. It don't care who blew up shit, as long as that money keep coming in. And you will never affect the people that you think you're going to affect. You think Trump is, because he the president, like this nigga's the ruler of the world? I like Trump simply because he is
did just
who he
kidnap
is.
a whole nother president.
No. This nigga is nothing but he's an actor. Trump is nothing but an actor, and everybody before him was nothing but an actor. Well, maybe with the exception of like George Washington, Abraham. There's a few in there that maybe weren't actors, but dude is an actor. Even he has to answer to the money. How do you think he got in there? Who do you think his people are? People with money. Absolutely. And there's people with way more money than Elon Musk. Trust me. These are the people that run the shit. So again, while we're down here and we want to get upset about, oh man, no, I'm fighting for because ICE is terrorizing the street. Like, nigga, you know nothing about terror. You know nothing about terror. Go make it through the 80s. You know nothing about terror. Try to survive on the South Side doing a nigga, that's terror. Crack epidemic, that's terror. You know nothing about terror, thinking somebody going to look for somebody else is terrorizing somebody you don't know. How the fuck does that make sense?
I'm telling you, that news media is very powerful. It's a very powerful instrument, and they're going to continue to use it. They're going to continue to use it to control the master, control your emotions, and that's how they get stuff done.
Yeah,
terrorizing through fear.
Epigenetics.
I mean, I think we kind of passed that. I think I can't ignore some of these people that's interfering, telling you in your face, "I'm getting paid to be here." That's like you're paid to be here. You're paid to be out here interfering.
That's not super far fetched to me personally.
It's not, but it's just like.
I don't think it's right.
I don't think it's right. It's just like, I don't know how much they're getting paid.
I think it's part of the game. I say allow it. I'm like, y'all didn't set up no rule book. Allow it. I allow this play. If they want to pay people out here to go and protest, I'm all for it. Go ahead.
This one, I'm like, I mean,
but do you think
personally, it's like, I feel like it's a.
Do you think it falls in a realm of you're controlling the political violence and the separation and everything that's going on? You're controlling it because you're paying people to be there. Could you imagine? Hey, there's a protest downtown. A pile of the bricks showed up. Now they throwing it into business. The business, it cost the business money. They got to use insurance. Somebody get hurt because the business owner retaliated back and shot the people that's throwing the bricks. But you paid the people to be down there.
I think it's a little separate. Paying people to protest because you want the news media to see a certain amount of people are rallying behind this cause. That's different. Excuse me. That's different than intentionally finding people to go out there with the intent to cause violence. I think that's different. Now, I'm not naive enough to be like, I don't think that's happening. I'm pretty sure it's a possibility. Absolutely. Especially like you said, these mysterious pallets of bricks just showing up out of nowhere. Of course. But get into the, you're saying like, hey, I'm paid to be here, as far as you just sitting there holding a sign and shouting whatever the cause is. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
But it goes even deeper, because the reason why I brought that up, because some people display the card that they give them. They say, if you get arrested, call this number. If this happened, do this. If this happened, do this. They're giving them the entire playbook, so you're comfortable. If you get arrested, to call this number. This person got a contact with him and get you right out, and that's usually what happens.
I don't know. That sounds like my concealed carry insurance card to me.
Like,
hey, if you get in a sticky situation, we got lawyers on standby for you to call.
Yeah,
that are specialized in getting you out of this situation. Call us.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Oh, you gonna pay me $80,000 to be here? I get to throw a brick through a window, and I don't go to jail.
I mean,
would you do it?
Like I said, there's a difference between the being down there with the intent to do violent versus being down there to make a protest look more popular than it is. Definitely. I'm okay with the you want to fudge the numbers and make something look bigger than it is. Hey, Hollywood do it. They got extras in the background. They pay standbys. It's all the time.
Oh yeah.
Now, like I said, paying somebody or having people come down there with the intent to stir up violence, I feel like that's different, and that's a problem, and it's. Whoever's doing that is not a friend of the cause.
Yeah. Again, but to me, I look at it as like, okay, this just is the game that's being played. It's like the side that sit there and fund whoever. It's like, yeah, I get it. I see what you're trying to do. It's like a mob move. You want to make something look bad enough to sway people to do something else. And it's like, if I was an evil genius like controller, I would go by this playbook 100%. Because the more you keep people in the dark and the more you keep them separated, the easier it is for you to do what you got to do. And it's like, that's the best way to do it. Can you imagine if all the people decided to be on one side and really take a look at what it is that you do? It's like, then you got nobody on your side. Then they can come for your ass like Caesar and chop you up. It's like, so it's better to have these people playing against themselves. So again, like I said, I'm sitting in the back. I got other shit that I need to do. I need to move these drugs back over to motherfucking Cuba. I need to get the boat and shit that did float on the water. Are we selling that? You think your government ain't about that? Go look up the Reagan years and the Contra War.
Sandinistas.
Yeah, those motherfuckers, they sold drugs.
Ricky
they sold
Ross.
it in the hood. Rick Ross. I got cousins out in California. These dudes said that on certain nights they would just drive out on the highway and look around the road. Motherfuckers like 4 deep, driving in the car with flashlights, just cruising the road because it wasn't that odd that somebody would throw a box that was getting chased. A motherfucking box of drugs, you just find them, nigga go pick them up. I was like, so that was actually a thing. They was like, yeah. I was like, so again, that's what people had to go through. And it's like, your government did that. And you think that they won't sit up here and separate you to the point that you go do something stupid? Please.
No, absolutely. I mean, it just goes back to what we were saying earlier. Like, how much effect do you think that you are actually having when you are putting yourself in jeopardy and in harm's way? Like, what is actually going to come? And if we're looking at this young lady's situation, is what would the goal have been from this? From this incident, from what she did? Would she, delay whatever raid that they were going to do for the day or for an hour? And then what? These people, whoever they were targeting, they, happen to, get away and it's like they know what these people are. They know who these people are. So they're gonna get found. Eventually, it may, you may have, gave them a couple extra days, or a day maybe, who knows? But you were willing to put yourself, and this goes beyond just her. This is, to all the people who are doing this stuff. You are willing to put yourself in harm's way, like you said, for people you do not know, people who do not know you, people who probably will never even know you're the one who gave them that extra 5-minute head start. And they damn sure not about to go track you down and thank you or shake your hand for it. And what are you doing this for? So you can pull your camera out and post this on your Instagram later? So you can get more likes and clicks and views from people who believe the same thing you do? So you can go back to the office and say, hey, I stopped this raid yesterday. Aren't I a good person? Aren't I on the right side? Don't you agree with me? Pat me on the back because this is what I did. And it's like it's not worth it. You know, there are ways about, affecting change, and this is not a productive one. I'm like, if I can't affect change without ensuring that I'm going home to protect my kids and feed my kids at the end of the night, I'm like, hey, we're gonna have to figure something else out. If I don't like the city that I'm living in, and I don't like the mayor that much to the point where I cannot stand being here, it's time to move around. I'm not about to go protest outside of his house and yelling and screaming and wait for somebody else to pick up a brick and throw it through his window so that everybody end up getting shot up. I'm not doing it. It's not that important to me. I can go somewhere else. And if I can't, I'm gonna figure out a way. Or, it's some things that you have to weigh out when you deciding to make these decisions. And personally, I'm like, hey, I'm not one for to try to justify the mistreatment of other people, humans, the killing of other people. None of that. But at the end of the day, nothing is more important than coming home to my family at the end of the day. There's nothing that can happen outside of, like I said earlier, outside of something that is directly affecting my ability to live my life the way that I want to and to get home to my family at the end of the day and provide a life for my family. Outside of that, it's nothing that important to me to go out and be, putting myself in potential harm's way.
I agree.
Absolutely nothing.
And I didn't say this earlier, but I did. And as far as the officer that shot Renee Good, I was like, yeah, that was some bullshit. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I disagree with the fact that, again, he had time to move out the way.
He had time to not even get in the way.
Right, exactly. Even better. Yeah. And I was like, so that was totally uncalled for. And I was like, yeah, that's fucked up. But unfortunately, on the law side of it, she gave him every right to do that, which is what makes this fucked up. Dude could have easily sidestepped or moonwalk, but again, like you had said earlier, it's like they play it in court. He can easily say, I wasn't expecting her to go forward. She backed up. There's a lot of ways that this can go. And it's like, unfortunately, video and eyewitnesses account and all that is on dude's side. And it's like, but to me, it's like he didn't have to shoot. It's just like in any other, well, I won't say any other, because there are certain situations that cops do need to defend themselves. And let's not pretend that doesn't happen. There's crazy shit out there that happened to police officers. So if you don't know, please go do your research on it so you can get an understanding of what it is that they do. And I know people want to make the argument, well, if they don't do that, they don't like their job, then they don't have to do it. Well, guess what? If nobody does it, then what? Ain't nobody gonna like going through the shit that they have to go through every day, dealing with dumb motherfuckers. So then it's like, okay, if nobody does policing, you expecting things to get better? How does that work?
I know, me personally, I have a little bit of that mindset as far as, personally, I don't want anybody policing my neighborhood who doesn't want to be there policing the neighborhood. I don't want a police officer with that much authority and that much power to have that much authority and that much power while they're hating their job. I want a police officer who, comes to work excited to attempt to, how everybody, you see all the movies and the shows and stuff, and people ask, the rookie cop, oh, why'd you become a cop? Oh, I want to affect change. I want to make a difference, especially when they ask the black cops, like, oh, I grew up getting my ass beat by cops, getting chased by cops, hating cops, and I want to show the younger kids, this is not the way it's supposed to be. That's the way I want, the police to be. But unfortunately, like you said, all the shit that they go through is like after 4 or 5 years on the job, it's like that, that doe-eyed, optimistic vision, it starts to get a little grizzled and it starts to change a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. But at the same time, that's not who I want policing me, because it's one thing to go to McDonald's and dealing with, a 19 or 20-year-old who hate their job and got an attitude. Hey man, look, I get it. Just make sure my fries is in the bag. But at the same time, it's like, hey, I don't want, to get pulled over by somebody who's, got an attitude because they mad as fuck because they on their third overtime shift for the week.
Yeah.
And, and now I got to get attitude from them, or perceived attitude, or my tone gets perceived as being attitude because this person hates their job. That's not what I want. But at the same time, shifting back onto the ICE agents, for example, is like my issue with them in particular is this job that you signed up for, that you seem pretty, they seem pretty gung-ho about doing and carrying out, and they don't seem, they seem like they believe, it's impossible to determine that, but from their actions and their movement and behavior, it seems like they believe what they're doing is the right thing to do.
Oh yeah, hype boys.
Why the fuck do you feel the need to cover your face if that's where your mindset is? If you feel like, hey, I'm out here doing the right thing, but at the same time, I'm gonna cover my face. I'm gonna make sure nobody can see.
Okay.
Now I get the repercussions that may.
I was like, can I say this shit first?
Like I get the repercussions that may come behind, that they have fear, and it's a reasonable fear, and I get it. But at the same time, it's like, if you stand on something and you feel that strongly, like, hey, I'm out here doing what I feel is the right thing, stand on that shit. Let your face be seen. Be like, hey, this is what I feel. This is what I believe. I believe that these people should not be here. Now, in real time thinking, as far as like outside of the like being on camera and the citizens and stuff, I get that, they may be deporting or dealing with some people that got connections back wherever they from, who, it may, have, some rank or something, and it could, be repercussions on that end. But as far as just like, I just don't agree with the covering your face. Like, if you're doing your job, do your job. You shouldn't have a reason to want to conceal your identity while you're doing your job the right way.
I agree. I guess from the research that I done, the reason why they cover their face is because they get docked. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Doxed. Yeah.
They get docked, and their address get leaked. Where their kids go to school get leaked. Where their wife work get leaked.
Oh, you can find everything about it.
You can find out everything.
I have no problem.
Because then their kids get harassed, and people harassing their wife that may not even know what's going on. Probably don't even watch the news because they understand what their husband or their wife do for a living as an ICE agent. I'm not defending why they wear a mask, but I'm just saying,
that makes perfect sense. Yeah,
if your wife or your husband don't watch the news, and all of a sudden you get approached by 3 people like, hey, your husband is a piece of shit and blah, blah, blah. He did this on the news. He all over the news. And the wife might not even know. Even the kids in high school, etc. You see where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why they get docked. But also, whoever's leaking the information is the piece of shit. Whoever releasing their doc information is the piece of shit. Because it's wrong. Like, it's wrong to put someone's families in danger that has nothing to do with their husband or wife do as they executing these ICE operations.
So you don't see that as being an occupational hazard? Like, if this is the job that you chose?
Yeah, I was just about to go into that. They know what they signed up for, 100%. They know what they signed up for 100%. But I guess what I'm saying is,
No, I get that there's a level
I don't
of
agree
severity
with the information that get leaked. You should not wear a mask. I do agree with you. You know what you signed for as an ICE agent. You should not wear a mask. I'm just completely against their information getting leaked.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's my stance on it. So,
There's a reason why it's illegal.
like, I mean, shit. If I'm an ICE agent,
Yeah.
you ain't gonna never find out where I live. I don't care who you. I'm gonna make sure, but
Right.
I'm gonna show my face. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
I'm going to go with the vote of wear a mask because where it's led to today is that, yeah, you got crazy motherfuckers that will go out and hunt down your family. And for what? Again, at the end of the day, for what? You are stopping people that are doing their jobs, that they didn't make this up. This just didn't come about. This organization has been in existence for a minute now. They are doing their jobs like any other federal agent does because they are part of a federal agency. What makes you think that you can interfere with that? And that's the part I don't understand. Would you stop a FBI raid? I mean, would you stop a dope deal that's about to go down? I was like, are y'all like people Batman now? Is that you out here for? I don't understand why something is legal and you are against it. You feel that it isn't right. And therefore, it's like you take justice amongst yourself. How is the person wrong that is an ICE that did sign up for this back in 2008 and when Obama started yanking people out, they didn't have masks on. They have pictures of that. Go back and look. They didn't have masks on. Now, here's the trick part of that. Where was all this craziness and motherfuckers protesting and shit? And I will not lie, there were protests, but they weren't the size that it is now. They were nowhere near that. And then you had the Democrats and Republicans agree on that. You think I'm bullshitting? Go take a look back at Joe Biden and all these people you swear like holier than thou. These niggas was the main ones sitting up there talking about deportation. And Obama, he whacked 3 million of them motherfuckers. Got out. They called him the deporter in chief. So how is it that different to today's standard to the point where, yeah, ICE people had to cover their face because these niggas done went crazy. Y'all niggas got out in the street and started burning shit up, and now it leads to death because y'all are crazy. People were getting shot, and like I said, y'all just lit the fuse. You worried about a masked up dude? Like I said, wait till that little robot come trotting it down. And there ain't no motherfucking negotiating with them. They strapping AKs to these motherfuckers back. So it's like, okay, keep playing the game. But again, it's like, no, if I was an ICE agent, definitely I have a mask.
Yeah,
I have a Joker,
it's a
man.
choice. It's definitely a choice for them because, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say they're all wearing their masks. Some of them do just show their face, and that's what they did. But it's because of the media and how things are being controlled. They're telling you what to be mad at. They're telling you what to be outraged at. Like, that's what they're doing. Like you said, under Obama, the deporter in chief, quiet.
It was crickets.
I mean, it wasn't completely quiet. It's not how it is now.
It lasted for about a good year. The only people that were complaining were the people that got busted, really. Yeah. Everybody else, in terms of the media and all the white folks and black, they wasn't saying shit. Yeah, that was like, that shit ain't on me.
As long as it's our Obama, we okay with it.
And I got a quick question.
Give it time. I'm sure Trump will match them numbers. You know, hey, I'm sure.
He on the roll. He on the roll.
LeBron shooting that Jordan.
Trump
trying to. So he gonna overtake that 3 million.
So
I thought it was 5 though.
What's that?
I thought Obama had 5.
No, he had like 3. It was just above 3. But real quick, because I had asked see this question earlier. Out of all this shit that happened, out of all this shit that happened, has she decided to keep driving straight on the road that made that turn? If she told old girl, her wife decided, you know what, it's cold in the motherfucker, let's just go get some tea or something or some coffee. Like, fuck this. Would she have gotten shot?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Because I say that not to be mean or anything, but it goes back to like, these are the decisions that people make to put them in those predicaments. So when everybody gets excited about that, think about that just for 1 second. If she didn't do that, hindsight is 2020. If she'd have stayed at the end of the block and decided both of them get out the car and just walk down the street like the other people that were on the sidewalk walking, would she have gotten shot? And the answer is no.
Possibly not.
No,
as far
it's
as
more
with the walking.
if
It
they
depends on what
walking.
else happened after that. But you can play the what if game.
Yeah, you can, but you got to take that into consideration.
But
And when
yeah,
people look at this
these-
in the eyes like there's no consequences to your action, oh, there is.
Yeah, that's
It
what I was
truly
saying
is.
earlier. Like you place yourself in this situation that in reality you do not have control over, and it's like people when they're inside their vehicles, they think they just like impenetrable, like they're invincible inside these vehicles, and it's like, man, the bullets don't care about that windshield, man. No. Especially that second and that third one after that first one cracked the windshield and there's a little bit less resistance.
Yeah.
How many shots was it though?
I think that was 4.
It were 4 shots. Okay, I would made to believe it was only 1 shot. So, everybody have different perspective on how they receive their information. But then, certain news media will show you one side of the clip or the other side of the clip. But once that body cam footage came out, I mean, from a police officer standpoint, or a law enforcement standpoint,
you got being found guilty of it. He's that ain't even coming up. So
like I said, I don't know, because when you look at like I said, when I was sitting there looking through the courts and what as far as precedent and what they've actually established as far as cases of police shooting and then when the claim was I shot this person because they were using their vehicle as a deadly weapon, and then all of this stuff. There's a lot of things that they take into place, and looking at the video and comparing that list of things that they look for, and looking at that video, it doesn't check off all the boxes. Like I said, and they usually high rate of speed is taken into account. Reasonable time to avoid is taken into account. Not placing yourself in harm's way gets taken into account. They have to find a way to prove intent as well. They have to find a way to prove and say, hey, this lady was intentionally trying to run this man over with the intent to kill him. And it's going to be really hard to prove that given the footage that's available, and also along with all the other things that are missing. Like, yeah, they do have, the fact that he was struck by the vehicle, which, by the way, would not have happened had he not stepped in front of it while it was moving. And you can also say, like you said earlier, hey, she was backing up for a second, so I didn't know she was going to come back forward. You're still putting yourself in front of a moving vehicle. So I don't think it's going to be as cut and dry as, hey, if this goes to trial, there's no way that he's going to be found guilty. My only thing is whether it's going to go to trial at all.
Exactly. Even better, because I was like, they already set the narrative in terms of what happened. And like you said, now they got the video of it. And I understand what you're saying in terms of like the legality issues, which, they can hit on. But if they go against that, well, they can easily say she was given orders repeatedly. She didn't obey them.
She was given mixed orders. From when I was listening to the video, I heard officers saying, get out of here. I've heard officers saying, like, get out of the car, and other officers saying leave. So there were orders, but again, this is still all who's telling the story and what side they want to take. If
they were to go in defense of what the hell you explained it, I was just saying the defense of that would be that, and I'm no lawyer, but I was like, there's enough to be like, okay, well, she was given orders, whether they were mixed orders or not. Again, they're going to bounce back to the fact that the new camera is showing them, and I'm sorry, it's like, but yeah, they were talking shit. She was sitting there, and wife was no. But they will make it one. And that's what I'm saying. It's like they will
I know,
make it. Yeah, they will make it to the point where this was intentional on their behalf because they were being given orders where they were mixed or not. It's like they were being given orders, and instead of choosing to get back into the car and follow the orders, her wife is sitting there with a camera, go to lunch or whatever. It's like you're antagonizing and you're disobeying the order. So by the time he gets around to the front of the car, they can easily say the dude is telling her to get out the car. That's very audible. You can hear it. So it's like he's telling her to get. That is a direct order, but she chooses instead to put the car in gear. And these are defenses that they're going to throw at this and be like, this is what really justified the shooting in their eyes. And to me, I was like, I'm not justifying at all, but this is just a defense that they can use. Yeah. And if an officer feel, and I don't care what officer you are, feel that your life is in jeopardy, by all means, you have the right to protect that. Yeah, and if a car coming at you, and again, I think dude could have got out the way easily.
And that's the part that they're gonna have to go around. And like I said earlier, they're gonna also have to prove intent, and they're gonna have to prove that she was intending to run him over, and they're gonna have to prove that she wasn't simply trying to get away. And then they also have to gonna have to adjust, depending on how good the opposing counsel is. They're gonna have to also address the fact that officers are trained not to shoot at moving vehicles. From my understanding, from when, like I said, me going through the legalities and things surrounding, a shooting when it comes to a vehicle as a deadly weapon, it's like, hey, they're not supposed to be shooting into moving vehicles because there's so many other when you go shooting, the first rule is you always got to know what's behind your target. And the same thing goes for them, especially in a crowded area like that. And there's a bunch of people around. Her wife was literally on the other side of I don't know if it was directly behind her, as far as when she was turning to the right, her wife was at the other door.
Right, she had just let go.
Set. So that bullet could have easily went through and struck the wife behind her if it, went through the right panel of glass or whatever. And it's like, you gotta, all of that stuff gets taken into account. And then I had another point that it escaped me though. But all of that stuff, it's a whole lot of stuff that is gonna go into it. And then at the end of the day, they're still gonna have to beyond deciding if they're gonna would like to charge him or not. Is like, even if they do, they still gotta go through 12 civilians. And what are the likelihood of those 12 civilians coming to an agreement on this?
Yeah, and
it should last longer than the Diddy trial did.
I think it's going to get way worse, because I still feel like in some way, shape, or form, people, us, everybody else is looking at it from state laws or what the state have to follow, what police officers have to follow in their state. Like, these are...
No, that's law enforcement.
Yeah, it's law enforcement, but they're federal agents.
Right.
No, they're still law enforcement. They're still beholden to...
No, but they're federal employees.
Not the laws of the state or whatever.
Right.
There's still regulations and
but
that stuff still applies to...
Like, how do it... are the laws different in one state versus the other, or is it just a blanket law?
No, those stuff goes to like courts, like
I
federal
feel
courts
like
and stuff.
they're going to be held differently versus...
Yeah, they're not going to be held by state law.
No. I'm talking about when you're talking
agency.
about like criminal court and stuff. That stuff doesn't go by like killing the person. That's immediately a federal investigation. Anytime a murder. Supposed murder, or however you want to frame it.
But isn't it if you kill somebody and if the state's attorney that versus you, but federally you're going to get a federal attorney or whatever?
Well, it depends on what the charges are, if it's state or federal.
Yeah. But I still feel like those might actually play. I still feel like there's a silver lining that we're probably missing as far as what they abide by versus...
I mean, at the end of the day, a murder is a murder. If they choose to charge him, as a murder, which, like I said, in the administration, it's not even going to get to that point.
Yeah, I don't think.
But on my other point was going to be as far as people may, counter as to the state of what his mind state is in the moment, and fear of your life and adrenaline and all that other stuff.
I'm like, let's be honest, and I'm like, back to the defense. If I have my witnesses, which are my partners, and we're going based off of what they had so far, it's like you got the video and you can dissect that a million ways to one. If you come out 50-50, that's fine. You got the video from down the street, dissect that 100 ways to whatever, 50-50, yeah, that's fine. You got that new video that they just came out with. Yeah, you got that. People can argue that, oh, it's still, yeah, whatever, fine. But when it comes down to his boys that were standing there, they're going to be like, yeah, if that was me, I'd have did it. And now you're talking about eyewitnesses and you're getting into the deep dive. So, like you said, it probably won't even come to that. They probably won't bring charges unless, Democrats come into power somewhere down the line and hunt this guy out.
Would the state bring the charges?
Yeah, it would be state because
it would be state.
This would be a federal case, him being a federal employee, or not unless the state can charge him.
But you know how,
according to what I was hearing when they did like a quick little press conference, whatever, as far as the investigation is going. The FBI has taken over the investigation.
That ain't happening. Then he ain't going.
They police yourself.
You got Cash Patel in there. That ain't happening.
They originally they had an agreement to work to do the investigation in conjoinment with their I forget what their initials were, but it's like D something. But it was their investigation, their investigation unit, the state's investigation unit. They had made an agreement to work together with them, the FBI and them. Mm-hmm. And then at a certain point, they were just like, yeah, nah, we got this. So it's like, and the lady was saying, she was like speaking from past experience, when the FBI chooses to handle an investigation themselves, they don't give us access to any of the evidence. They don't give us access to any of the updates or anything like that. Mm-hmm. They was like, we get a PowerPoint at the end of their investigation about what they've come to, the evidence they had, and the conclusions that they've come to, and then they're not allowed to even release or talk about what they were, what they were briefed on. Yeah. So it's like, at this point, they were like, "Hey, we would like to be able to do this in conjoinment because this is something that happened in our state. So we unequivocally have jurisdiction over it until the FBI decides to say, hey, no, this is us."
That's
so
it. Like, that's in every movie.
Yeah, like they can't really. But I think she was saying this to the point of saying like, hey, because there were things floating around just because the fact that it was a federal employee, that means that they don't have jurisdiction. And she was saying that's not the case. The case is that it happened in our state, so we have jurisdiction. The thing now is the FBI supersedes all of that. Yeah. So the FBI has decided to handle this themselves.
That's been in every movie, and it's been like that since its inception. Yeah. But like in Die Hard, it's like, oh shit, let me guess, feds. Yeah, the motherfuckers came over there like, we're taking over.
I thought about when I was watching that, the scene that came in my head was Blue Street with Martin Lawrence when they were at the hangar. And then he was looking at the when he was pretending to be the cop. Remember that? No, I'm sure you've seen it.
I've seen it a long time ago.
But he was pretending to be a cop, so they were looking at trying to find drugs and stuff in this airport hangar, and they were looking at it, and then all you just see is like blue jackets with them bright yellow letters came on. They walked in and was like, all right, this is our scene now. Y'all wrap this up, get out of here. And he was like, what? He was like, no, we taking care of this. This is in LA, this LAPD or whatever. And he was like, well, I'm FBI. And he snatched the evidence. It's like, get the fuck out of here. It was like, hell. As soon as she said it, was like, yeah, the FBI is taking over. I was like, yeah, well, hell, we not going to find out.
You know what? Yeah, then it's a wrap then.
And they took the vehicle and everything. They got the vehicle in custody. Yeah. And they was like, hell, they're not getting access to nothing unless the FBI decides for some reason that they would like to do it.
And they're not.
They're not, because if there's any way that that they feel like, hey, this could come out not in our favor, they're not gonna release none of that shit.
Right.
No.
And they're going, like I said, they're going to continue to do what they're doing. It's like, you're not about to stop this. It's like, what the hell?
Plus we got midterms. We got midterms on the way too.
Yeah, that shouldn't have gamble. But no, it's not going to stop them from being out on the streets. If the Democrats take power, they can't stop Trump from having ICE do its job. That's a mandate. It's like that is a job.
No, I mean, only thing that they can do is just hope that Trump does something that's a little bit too far, that they can start talking about impeachment with, which I think I've heard rumblings about this.
That's the first thing.
Would it even be pointless now? He can't run again.
This is a payback.
If they can get him out, okay. From there,
but impeachment doesn't get you out of office necessarily unless you
if it gets approved. Yeah, it gets.
But he got impeached twice already.
Then he got impeached like 4 times.
Impeachment. Technically, once the paperwork has been filed, technically you've been impeached.
Yeah,
but once it doesn't, you don't get kicked out of office until everything goes through and it gets voted. So it's like when you say, "Oh, this person has been impeached," like who was it? Was it and Bill Clinton? It was like he got technically impeached, but he still.
Still ran. Like he still got it.
And same thing with him.
But I'm saying, what exactly does that?
But so what I mean when I'm saying impeach, I mean the process completely goes through to where that they are able to get him out of office.
And 25th Amendment, you mean?
Yeah. So
they would probably try to.
So I'm like, that's the only thing that they could possibly hope for as far as winning over some midterms is like, hey, they can hope that maybe he grab another person by the pussy or something and they can catch it on camera.
All right.
Or they probably AI. And that's that comes back to the game, which I never understood. I just never understood that throughout all this time, and the people that knew him and was cool with him, and again, because I can remember those days when Trump first hit
videos.
Yeah, he would pop up and be with black people and Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. He gave them money for a charity and received an award for it. So on Oprah and all this shit, it's like everybody loved this nigga back in the day.
Kamala Harris campaign.
Yeah, this dude did a lot of shit. I guess people forget when he had Jennifer Hudson up in his hotel at the Hutt family
got murdered. Oh yeah,
he was a dude that's done a lot of stuff, boy. So I always sit there and laugh to myself like, oh, so when he become a racist, as Al Sharpton when he became a racist, after he gave y'all that money and shit, but y'all was cool with him then. Mm-hmm. But then when he decided, and he used to be a Democrat. I don't know if people knew that. The nigga was a registered Democrat, but he decided, like everybody else playing the game, hey, how can I get in this game and run some shit? He talked to them people and was like, hey, I can do it off of my personality and my talk. Let me do a couple of things and we good. And
it's funny you said it because I'm like, we've had that conversation before and it was like, it was a lot of, real time things. So how you have a conversation, then afterwards you start thinking like, oh man, damn, like, okay, I could have said this or whatever, or, just replaying a conversation. And I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, I don't have any. Like when you go out and you say, "Oh, he's a racist," I'm like, I don't think that he is the kind of racist who specifically hates black people. Let's use black people. He specifically hates black people and wants to see their downfall and wants to participate in their downfall. However, I feel like he don't give a shit about anybody. And only thing that he does or has ever done was something that would potentially benefit him in whether it be like a social standing or financial down the road. But at the same time, it's like, hey, I can't, really dispute, the things that I just happen to disagree with on his standpoint. But then when you bring up the stuff that he has done in the past, I'm just like, hey, I don't see any of that stuff as being altruism. I'm like, I didn't think he legend for us and family stay in his building just out of the kindness and goodness of his heart. I'm like, he absolutely knew that it was going to be on the front page the next day, and it was going to make people be like, "Oh man, isn't Donald Trump a good guy?" Now, and that also being said, is like, hey man, if I give you $1,000 2 years ago, but I smack you in the face right now, what you gonna care more about? Like, I'm gonna care more about that smack. Like, you can't tell me like, hey man, I know I just smacked you in the face, but I gave you $2,000 the other year. You remember? Don't get mad.
Don't get mad.
Like, no, that's not how the shit works. It's like, you are what you are currently doing in the moment, and like, you can't be like, hey, I did this, this good deed 30 years ago, so I can't possibly be racist. Like, it's very possible that he's racist, but
honestly, I don't think it's racism. I think that he don't fuck with broke people.
Like I said, I just don't think he care about anybody but himself and his rich buddies, people that can make him more rich.
Right? Yeah, it's like, don't fuck with people that's broke.
Because I be having conversation with people about Trump and whatever. I don't care about it. Me. It don't matter to me. But I do notice that people like to still bring up the Central Park Five and him not renting to black people. Well, I guess whatever. Guess what?
Black people don't rent to black people.
Guess what?
The fuck?
I got so tired of people bringing up those two topics to me. I actually went to go look up that shit, and they asked it wrong.
About the Central Park Five?
The Central Park Five. I guess he put out an article. I went to go look up the article, what it actually said. A whole bunch of misinformation out there. He put out an article that was directly to some of the audience and the mayor and the city, stating that if you kill someone, you deserve the death penalty. Somewhere along that line. There was a whole lot in that article.
This is what Trump said?
Yes. It was pertaining to the Central Park Five, but people like to say he was saying that the children or the kids deserve the death penalty, but they admitted to rape. They admitted to raping. She was alive. So how did you go from he talking about the death penalty to that's not even what they went to jail for?
Right.
But people don't do their research and don't look this up. Even when the property thing, Trump was not renting to anyone or did not want to rent to anyone that could not afford to rent. But he didn't understand that there were certain laws in place in the housing market to where you have to rent to 20 or 30% low income or subsidized. However many apartments you have inside the building, you have to have 20% subsidized for people that have lower income. But of course, the notion was being pushed. He don't want to rent to black people. No. That's all they saw. He didn't want to rent to anyone who couldn't afford to rent.
He probably didn't want to rent to black people.
Yeah, and then what? And let's be honest. Hey, nigga, I've been with good jobs and been refused by places I know I could afford.
But that's what he went to court for. He went to court because he didn't want to rent to anyone, not because he went to court because he didn't want to rent to black people, but he went to court because he didn't want to rent to anyone who couldn't afford to rent. That's a big difference. But society just want to make it.
When you talk about like racist people and stuff, and people who
are racist,
could be racist or might be racist, I look at it like this, and I think this applies to Donald Trump. And this applies to most of the Fortune 500 CEOs in this country. So I think just Fortune 500. Is that just U.S. or that's worldwide? Fortune 500. Is that just America?
That's worldwide.
Okay, well. So I looked this up before, and they said about, I think they said 60% of all the Fortune 500 CEOs are over the age of 60. I want to say. I think like the average. No, not 60%. The average age of the Fortune 500 CEO is like 65 or something like that. Just the average. So it's obviously going to be much older and much younger. So what I think that tells me, and this kind of like what kicked me off to look up this was the Campbell soup thing. And like I said, I think this applies to Donald Trump as well. If you look at the age of that person, and then you think about who their parents were. If this person is Donald Trump, he's what, 81?
I think he's like 81.
All right. So
He old.
he was definitely raised by rich people during,
His dad was, they was hustlers.
right, during the segregation. But I mean, even as far as like just become like racist and stuff. And racism and prejudice, overall prejudice. But I'm like, these people were obviously raised in a household that were majority CEOs. You're going to come from a rich family. It's going to be very hard for you to be a broke person and become a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. So these people were, statistically speaking, they were probably raised by somebody who were descendants of like people who were profiting off the back of slavery and segregation and all of that stuff. So these are the people that they were raised by. So you can't tell me that they didn't come home from school hearing their parents, talk about this stuff and talk about people of a different wage class and a different race in disparaging ways. And you also can't tell me that they did not pick up some of those habits or beliefs or thoughts. Now, you can also say, hey, people evolve and change over time and then they become, their own person. But, I feel like for at least 50% of the time, like these people are still going to hold these same values and these thoughts that have been put in their heads since they were children by these people who were, probably opposed to, desegregation and civil rights and all of this other stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think it stands to reason. Like I said, I was doing this off the back of the Campbell Soup thing. It was like people were surprised that, people were saying this stuff and getting outed and saying, getting caught saying racist shit behind the scenes. And it's like, I'm not surprised at all. I'm surprised it don't happen more often.
Right.
Because this is the household that they were grown up in. And they know, obviously, hey, this in this day and age, you can't just say that shit, but that ain't gonna stop them from saying it in private. And I think the same thing follows with Donald Trump. It's just like, hey, I'm pretty sure I don't know how many generations of Trump go back being rich, but like his pops was rich, and I'm pretty sure he benefited from some unscrupulous from dealings back in the day. And I'm pretty sure he had some, statistically, he probably had some racist views and stuff. And Trump grew up hearing that. Now, that's not to say that he's 100% a racist now, but I'm pretty sure that he had, like you said before, you don't fuck with broke people. I'm pretty sure he looks at a certain person and, makes determinations about them, just like, hell, everybody else does.
Right. I was about to say.
I don't see color. I see money. If you don't have it, you're broke.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Like
hey, and that's fair. And to your point with that one, my thing is, it's like, we got to the point like we all racist. I was like, there's one race. I have yet to know one race that love everybody. Point this motherfucker out. I would like to meet him. I would like to know who in the hell that can speak kindly on every race. White people don't like white people. White people don't like anybody else other than white, and they don't like each other. Same thing with black people. Same thing with Asians. You name it. There is not one group that sits there and say they love everybody. Mm-hmm. So when we get to the point of like, oh, we talking about Trump and there's no defense, and the only reason that I would give dude his props is because he's playing the game, and you know who you're dealing with. Only a person that understands be like, oh, okay, well, I ain't got a problem with him. All that shit that comes behind it, you don't like him because he's this or this, he's that. It's like, that ain't his fucking problem. You where you're at, you deal with that shit. I don't have to fucking like you or give you shit. Where is that in the rule books? How often do the average person come up and just give you $500? That shit has never happened to me. So when people sit there and talking about, oh, they racist and he racist and you fucking racist. I hear more shit from black people talking about white people. Talking about the white man. This motherfucker called me the other day and told me, oh, when you out there, be safe. If they killing white women, they'll kill you. The fuck kind of shit is that? Nigga, you know how many interactions I had with police officers and I'm still walking to this day? You know that I came in contact with some great men that stood up for me, that were police officers and taught me lessons to this day that I know. You think everybody out there with a badge and a gun is just out to fuck you over? Okay, well, that's you. I'm sorry you feel like that in life. Continue to be a bitch and be afraid of your shadow every time you go out because somebody made up this myth that motherfucking cops are just out hunting for black people. Do you know how many interactions there are on a yearly basis of police either pulling over black people, investigating homicides or murders or drug dealings? It's over 1 million. Now, you take that into consideration that on average there's about 290 murders done by police officers to blacks. And do the math on that. What's the percentage out of 290 out of over 1 million? It's minuscule. So if cops was out here hunting down black people, that number would be much greater. And then go look up how many cops kill white people. It's more. Oh, that's a shock. I know that there's more white people, but don't sit up here and say that, oh, yeah, they don't kill. The fuck if they don't, they kill white people too. So it's like where is that? Like, to me, it's like in that bullshit. And I was like, I don't care if a dude is racist. Oh, one last point. Yeah. And I will say this about everything else. This, again, we learned from old school. Dudes that sit there on the corner, they winos or whatever you want to call them, but they had already lived the game. And dudes would sit there and like tell us certain things if they were watching other characters that was on the block. One of the guys was like, hey, always watch out for the nigga that talk shit about everybody. If you come across a nigga that sit there and every time he come up to you, he's telling you some shit about somebody else, that's the nigga to watch. Because he's going to set you up. And don't think that he's not doing the same thing about you. And after I was told that, I moved through life and started watching that shit, and you'd be amazed on how many people that exist like this. And they're always out to get some type of shit so they can make the other person look bad, so they continue to do their shit and look good. And if that doesn't describe what the Democratic Party and some Republicans, no lie, what they do today is that they just sit there and point fingers and whine and cry and say that this person is bad. This person is bad and you should hate them.
No, that's all that both sides do. Just
yeah, they do it, but nobody has done it more than they did to this dude. And my only question was, he was good a few years ago. What changed? When he was on Oprah, what changed with that? And it's all because it's like, we told you to think. That's the other part to get me. We told you to think. We told you exactly what to think and told you this dude was a racist. He was out there grabbing coochies. He was, fucking up money on jets with some pedophile, all that shit. And it's like, people like, yeah, I believe it. That's the part that gets me.
But nobody is pushing out outrage of how many times we saw Bill Clinton in them photos.
No, that's a lie. They actually got mad that he was the only one shown in the photos. These niggas basically came out and said, hey, we don't want to know about Clinton. We want to know what the Trump shit is.
But it
was like, niggas no, they said that for real.
Wild. I've been seeing some Democrats attack other Democrats, asking them, will you denounce Bill Clinton? And they be like, no, like, I don't care if he appeared in a photo. I'm like, what? Like, what is that about?
And that right there tells you you are dealing with people that you know nothing about. When a person can do that and like stand in your face and tell you that, no, fuck that part. It's like these people you do not want to fuck with. Well, it's not about changing their mind. It's the trust factor. Yeah. You can't trust shit that they got.
Well, on a side note, do you guys think Campbell soup is for poor people?
Let me see. I've been poor, and I've eaten Campbell soup.
You got a can in your house right now?
Shit, I probably got like 12 cans in that.
I don't think I remember last time I
fucked with Campbell soup.
None of them. Don't just think the regular white and red can, the one with the soup and the potatoes.
Yeah. You ain't had a hard time,
man. If I personally, just me personally, and this is not like a status or a classist thing. It's like, man, I just know that anything that come in a can probably ain't fucking healthy. So I'm like, if I want some chicken noodle soup, I'm gonna go get some ingredients from the store.
Tell you it's genetically modified food and it's on the label. You know how we don't be reading, but for them to tell you
it's.
I mean, he ain't say all. He said they printed that chicken.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? I don't know. Was he being hyperbolic? Probably.
Even down to, I'm pretty sure he. Even down to McDonald's, how are you feeding? Have you seen how many McDonald's is actively in the U.S.?
I just seen that.
Oh my God! Where is the meat coming from?
They were talking
Yeah.
about how many chicken nuggets McDonald's sell on a like a yearly basis and stuff. And it's like, hey, is it that many fucking chickens in this damn water? Like,
Oh, yeah.
we really
Yeah.
produce that many chickens.
They are feeding tree branches.
But no, I mean,
Probably right. Those tree branches tasty to the motherfucker, boy.
now, do I think that Campbell's, to directly answer your question, is Campbell soup for poor people? No.
Oh no, I'm just making a
really-
joke.
No.
That shit cheap
still,
them up
because it's a thing.
I can see
Like,
some
people-
rich man.
I can
Helen,
see some
don't eat
ignorant
that.
ass-
That's for poor people.
I can
That's
see
for the
some
poors.
And I can see some black folks saying some shit like that. Like, I don't, fucking Campbell soup. That's a broke motherfucker.
But
Or,
shit,
like,
there is a higher quality grade of types of soup like that. Like,
I'm sure it is.
Oh,
but
you
I don't
got
think-
progressive.
I
I
don't
mean,
think-
is that what it's called? What?
Progressive, yeah.
Progressive.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Or you could go to like Jules and stuff. They be having good soups too.
Oh yeah,
That's if you a soup person.
brand
But
soup. You put a little seasoning in there, like a little
shit.
Cajun seasoning. You add an egg or something. Like you add more meat.
I'm gonna tell you right now, 1977, that was a rough year, nigga. Campbell's was about that's
But
about as
I
good as
will
living.
say,
and
I
you was
can't-
happy to have that shit.
I will say I can't picture a multimillionaire with a can of Campbell's in their
Oh, that ain't
cabinet.
gonna happen. Yeah, no, that ain't gonna happen.
I can't picture that. I will say that much. I ain't say this for poor people, but I can't picture no rich motherfuckers drink. Honey, can you go open up that
Yeah.
can of Campbell soup?
I say, good sir, would you care for some Campbell's soup?
Go bring me that clam chowder from Potbelly.
No, they go
That's-
ahead.
that's
Jeffrey go
top
make
shelf.
him some shit.
Right.
Jeffrey, go make me some clam chowder.
Oh man!
fresh clam.
All right,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
we got 15 minutes left before we get there.
I'm good. What you said something about some Boston Dynamics earlier. What you got on that?
Oh yeah, no, I was just referring to the robots that this company has, and they've been testing military equipment on it. So they got like these little dog robots, and they strapped a 50 cal to his back, and this motherfucker is taking aim and set up and everything. But it's all remote, but these things exist. And the only reason I had brought it up earlier was to talk about people getting crazy out in the street and thinking that at the end of the day, this shit was a solution, that what we doing or what they doing, I ain't doing shit.
Do you think that's the future of our law enforcement? Robot dogs?
I don't think. I mean, you got too many hackers out there. So I don't think so.
No, it's ways around. I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
it's too
you
big.
get a military like that, and they already started, which I thought was interesting when I heard it, and I looked at the story. They was talking about these. I forgot his name. I think it's Flynn. I forgot the dude's name that just got all his paperwork yanked for telling military not to abide by rules and be like, basically, you can't do that in the military. You can't flat out tell enlisted or soldiers that not to follow rules. And
What rules? The rules that
that are given to them. So basically, if the president
orders
gives you
or rules? I mean,
or
laws.
orders, I'm sorry, giving you orders. Like if these orders pop up, just disobey them. Like you can't do that. And these people openly came out and said it. And the reason why they caught shit for it is that you're openly telling somebody to disobey a direct order when you was trying to get this dude locked up for saying go march peacefully. And I was like, I don't give a fuck how you think it or what you thought you heard. When you go back and you can read the speech of what dude said, he never mentions going to go tear shit up. But in this case, you're telling somebody to refuse a direct order if it's given to you by the commander-in-chief, by the person in charge. And I was like, I don't care who's in office or whatever. It's like, it could be Democrat. The shit would still be wrong. You can't do that. But I find it interesting. Again, it's like, this is where we're going to. So if they getting it in people's minds, like, oh, yeah, well, you're a bad person if you're ICE and you got to wear a mask. They'd be like, oh, okay, we'll get this robot dog that we attach this motherfucking grenade to. And when y'all cooped up in that house, sitting there like y'all going to plan something with no electricity, we going to walk this nigga up to the front door, take everybody out. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, good luck with that, thinking that you got some shit that you can outbattle these
It's coming.
because you're going to lose,
Like
and you're going to
episode of
lose
Black
bad.
Mirror.
We're gonna get androids.
Did you ever see that episode of Black Mirror I think it was
I'm
called.
still on the first season.
It's in the first season. It was called Metalhead. When the lady group of people broke into this warehouse in like the future, or whatever, and it was guarded by them little robot dogs.
No,
and
I
that
probably
motherfucker,
didn't see it.
that motherfucker tracked her down and chased her down for miles. And it was solar powered too, so it was just like shit. It would get tired. The battery would go down. It just.
I think the
go into
last
a little thing.
episode I saw was the everybody were trying to have a talent and get up to a certain floor, and then they become a part of the system. One of them was a singer. Another one was I don't know, something that was a while ago. But I'm still stuck on Stranger Things, so I'm gonna try to finish that. But I think that's it. We at a Q. Who's winning this weekend? Bears, Packers,
Man,
who's winning this weekend?
What you say?
Who winning this weekend, sir?
Yeah. And both of y'all got socks on. I knew something was weird today.
I've always got to either socks or Bears hat on. It's not gonna be an easy battle.
It ain't gonna be easy. I'm betting, so
It's not gonna be an easy battle. I will never.
What you betting?
I will never bet against the Bears, but I'm also a realistic person.
I bet against the Bears last time. I got 1,700. I'm gonna cut that out on the video.
What you betting on tomorrow?
I don't know yet. I'll probably decide before I go to sleep. So we'll
Where
see.
you leaning?
I might put up 300. We'll see.
No,
What's
I mean on who? Like who you got? Who you think gonna win?
I bet against the Bears last time. I might bet for them to win this time, but I don't know. I gotta see who may be the starting. But I don't know.
They said Love is back, so if he's back, he's going to start. He's going to play the whole game unless he get wiped out again. And I don't know. Is everybody good on the? Is Odunsi back? Is he?
I feel like they said by this week most of the key guys are going to be healthy.
Yeah, because it'll be an interesting game. But if everybody healthy on the Packers and the Bears, I was like, be honest with you, I couldn't call it.
Yeah. I just hope that they don't do this thing that they've been doing this year of not kicking it into gear to after the first half. I'm like, I don't understand if there's a strategy behind that, if it's like
I think it's the jitters.
a mindset thing or
Are they
confidence
playing here
thing.
or they playing?
They playing here.
They playing here.
Yeah.
Ooh wee.
Yeah, I think they get the jitters. I think that the pressure is so much, especially on Williams. Now, I don't say that he crack under pressure, but I think that there's a lot of pressure because they've gotten this far. And you know how
they weren't expecting to. This
right?
early.
Oh hell no! I was talking to my brother. I think he didn't give him more than 6 games, and he likes
You
to
didn't
break.
get more than 3.
Oh, that's because I hate him. I don't like the motherfucking game. I was like,
Close it out.
Yeah, you good.
I don't like them like that. So I was like, I gave him 3 only to give Curtis shit. So
Yeah, and I remember you telling me, I had to text you. I was like, man, the Bears doing good. He was like, they ain't gonna win no more.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, we'll see. Here we go. 3 months later.
Yeah,
They've been winning damn near every one
I got
since.
a lot of anger. Hey, man, that's cool. You know what? To be honest with you, I ain't mad at them. I had hope better for the Ravens, and there's a lot of talent out there. I was, like that kid Drake May from the Patriots. You seen this kid? Oh, that little dude got some rockets, and it's like they are 13. I think they're like 13-4. Yeah, and the Seahawks. Seahawks got is it Darnold? I think they got Darnold now.
I don't know.
And they're 13-4. They over there whooping ass.
Hyper focus on the Bears. I don't even pay attention to anybody outside of that. But,
Yeah, I start moving around. I start liking the game more, the strategies based off of it. And again, I was like, now that they got that drop back view from the quarterback, you can see from their angles. I give them all the props because my math is fucking horrible. It ain't no way I'm gonna throw a ball 4 seconds before the person get there. Yeah. And I was like, these cats be pulling that shit off. That throw that Williams hit on the end zone.
he be getting them.
You be like, damn, hey, that other 5 times sucked, but I give you credit for that one.
So I think if we, like I said earlier, I'm like, nobody was expecting them to to be this good this early
Right.
with such a young team. It's like shit, these kids barely know each other at this point. Like they all new to the team and new, some of them are rookies. Like I keep hearing, every time somebody make a play, I hear the announcer, it's like the rookie out of X, Y, and Z. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, on the defense especially.
Yeah, so I'm like, hell, I need them to stay healthy this off season. I'm like, I'm not expecting them to make it to the big game, but hell.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good start, and that's a good launch off for them.
Yeah.
Because then next year they can ride off of that height
Man,
that
like,
they
look,
got.
this is what we're capable of
Right.
this early. Like, hell, it's only up from here.
You got Ben Johnson in there, and I was like, I don't know what coaching difference or what's really happening behind the scenes, but it seems like the attitude has changed. I was like, before last season, you could watch it, and I would always give Curtis shit on that because in the third quarter, you could see him physically broke. It's like third quarter would hit when, they would still have a chance, but you could see it in their eyes, and it's like the eyes is like, we not winning. And I would call it every time. I was like, oh, they ain't about to win this one. It's like because they already gave up. I was like, but this one it seems different, and I hope for the best for them.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they can figure out something. They can figure out something to do because if we can manage to make it, I said we make it to.
Y'all want to ante up though before but y'all gonna flip over cards?
I'm good. I'm out.
Oh, you could have did something with that.
Could have.
Yeah, you got two spades in there.
Slide this up closer
You
to
only
me.
need one more to get a flush.
Oh, it's too late now, nigga. I'm about to bet against that shit. You better flip
I'm
that
looking
shit
at
over.
numbers. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
There you
go.
go. I'm glad you bailed out. That give me a chance.
All righty.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I still want to do that again.
Yeah, what we get?
You want to slide that closer to me? Ooh, shit.
What you got?
You giving it away.
I mean, that's the end of
I
the
only
round.
got 2 pairs, 7 high.
You only got one pair.
No, it's 2 pairs.
Oh, you got the queens in. I got nothing.
Oh, I can see it. Scoot that on over here. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
shit, no, that's really a full house. Shit. You got 7s, 6?
No, it would have been 6. That's 2 pair, but 7's over 6. So
Nah.
2 pair.
All right, y'all. That's gonna
All right,
call
y'all.
it for the day.
Yeah.
This was a good talk. Like we said, it's probably gonna continue to get worse from here, unfortunately. But
Hey, I tell you this, start getting the ammo sales, ammo dropped in price. You've been paying attention? So prices done dropped on them. So I'm telling you, yeah, I think it's a joke. Keep fucking around, go buy ammo.
yeah,
Go
like I
buy
said,
stock in ammo.
At the end of the day, my job is to get home to my kids.
That's why you buy ammo.
So
That's
I'm
why.
like, if
That's why you buy ammo.
Yeah, that's why. Hey, no bullshit.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, hey, if you feel strongly enough about, whatever you feel strong about, hey, do what you got to do, but be smart, man. Like, stop putting yourself in harm's way for virtue signaling.
Yeah.
Like, stop doing this shit for the opinions of other people. Because I can guarantee you, if there wasn't so much social currency behind agreeing with a certain sentiment, I'm sure a lot of this stuff wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, you guys.
Let's go wrap
We
it for
out.
the day. All right.
All right, y'all. Peace.